Stop!
No!
You're under arrest!
No. Hey!
What character do you play in 12 minutes, and what was your kind of vision for the character, like your idea of the motivations behind the person?
He was such a different person depending on what routes the player decides to take. He really is unfolding to me as much as he is to the player. If I read every single iteration, I'd have been there for 3 weeks. There are massive offshoots, like huge tangential offshoots that make him a very different person. I mean, I think his prime motivation is to figure out what the hell is going on, which is kind of existentially appropriate for everyone, I think, at every moment in their life, but especially for this guy at this moment, because he's walking in his door and the most incredible things are happening, the most mundane things are happening, but somehow fate, God, eternity, or serendipity is telling him, no, that's not right. Go back and do it again.
Are you kidding me?
You've got to go and comply with the player stroke audience, and they're going to go, well, I think you're going to react like this and do something completely wildly different. And while me as an actor, that might not be my instinct, or that might not be what I think is the most compelling or interesting or righteous move, I've got to surrender to the player. If you just play this game as you are as a person, and you carry this game out just as you would in real life, maybe that's a rewarding experience, but I think there's going to be a lot of people making decisions, testing boundaries, testing their own moral boundaries. And at what point in games do we start to care? You can just go like, I'm going to behead that pig in this particular game, whatever it is, and maybe that's whatever. But when does that game that lets you behead that pig or do terrible things, or it's Grand Theft Auto or something like that, and you can run around and do horrendous things actually, at what point can a game make you care, actually make you care about the consequences of those choices as well? And I think that's something that Luis has maybe got an opportunity to do in this game. The scenes with Daisy, some of them were really quite heartfelt, and also she was in the room with me for a lot of this as well. And she's such a brilliant actor to work with. There was a real connection there, and hopefully that comes across in the game when you're playing. And then I got to work with Willem. He was in Rome, I think. He's just an amazing, you don't even need to say it, his experience, his back catalogue, all that, but also his voice. His voice is so particular, it's so iconic almost. When I first heard that come in the cans in my ears, I was like, working with some proper actors here.
What other games do you typically play, or what are some examples that you can think of?
I used to play a lot of role-playing games, so I'd play a lot of like Oblivion, Skyrim, all those kind of things. On the consoles like the Marios and all that stuff, which were brilliant. Secret of Mana I love. Wing Commander, which was kind of sort of like a role-playing game, but also space flight simulator I loved when I was a kid. But then I kind of gave it all up. I just didn't have the time, I didn't have the patience, all that stuff when I was in my mid-20s. And then during the pandemic, me and 4 of my other 40-something buddies said, guys, should we all get consoles and get a game that we can play online, seeing as we can't be together? And so for the last year and a half, me and my 40-something buddies have been hitting Warzone and all sorts of things.
Would you start in more video games in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I would, if they're as interesting and compelling as this. It's such a good form of entertainment, and I think it's opening itself up much more to what I do anyway. And if you can meld them together in a cool way that isn't just cutscenes in between great gameplay, then awesome.